Ihr Lieben, herzlich willkommen und ich hoffe, dass viele dazukommen werden jetzt. Der Klaus ist schon hier, ihr könnt ihn schon sehen und wir warten mal eben ganz kurz, dass ein paar Leute noch zu uns stoßen. So we are waiting for the followers. They see now we are going live and I think I need a few minutes
Yeah, sure.
to come to us.
Yes.
And yeah, 4 followers. We are 4 followers. And this is the chat. I will put it here. Is it
Yes.
okay? It's enough? Yeah.
Yes.
So Benjamin is there. Eiffel boy Kevin is there. Hello. Good evening. And good evening back to you all. I'm sorry for my bad English. We will see. We will try it.
That's good.
And we have a technical issue because I can't hear Klaus at the normal way. So I am here with a second monitor. I will show you. Can I show you? And the second monitor, this is this one, a dead one. There I can hear the sound. So it's a little bit issue, but we will fix it and we will have a good evening, I think. So good evening to all, he says, and now I think we start. Okay, so I will come into the waiting room with the second, and then we're starting.
Sure.
Hello and welcome to Rumtastisch. This time in English, and I love to see the Claus Thomsen. This is the brand ambassador from Rum Nation. Hello, Klaus. Maybe you say a few words about you. Can you explain? Is the wrong word. Can you explain yourself, please?
Yes. Hallo, guten Abend. Ich heiße Klaus. Ich spreche nicht so viel Deutsch.
Jetzt spricht er Deutsch.
I'm a little bit better in English. We are learning Deutsch in our schools, but it's many years ago. Ich verstehe
Okay.
mehr. But my name is Klaus, and I'm from Denmark. I'm not the owner, but I'm taking care about the brand Rum Nation. I'm the export manager, and also doing all the I do all the new products we do, and also make all the blending and testings. That's the hard job.
Yeah, wie hart ist.
I've been working in the industry with spirits and wines for about 20 years. So, and for the last 3 years, I have been the head of Rum Nation. We bought the Rum Nation brand from our founding father called Fabio Rossi, an Italian guy. But I'll come back regarding this later on. I think the most important thing is that we should have something in the glass. It's really important so we have a good drink together. And some of you, I know, have bought the small packaging. And I think we should start with the Guatemala with the brown label, so we can have this in the glass.
Uh-huh. I put it in my glass a few minutes ago.
Yep.
And we plan to do the follow. So I have questions from my WhatsApp community, and I have questions for my own. So we have enough questions for the evening. Otherwise, if you have any questions, write it to the comments, and maybe we can answer it. We see the comments. You see the comments too, Klaus, isn't it?
Yes, I do, and I understand them also. I read German okay.
Perfect.
And I can see that Benjamin has the Trinidad 12 years old in the glass, a beauty. I can show the bottle as well.
Ah.
This one is
So
a limited edition we did. A cask strength is sold out already. So it's a beautiful cask strength. Yeah.
perfect. I can show you. I think I can show you the stock of Klaus. Here you can see all the bottles in the background, and this is a very good sorted, sehr gute sortiert das Sortiment.
And there's missing a couple of products, but I think that was important to show you all, and we can talk about it during the evening, the style of different rums we do, and also to explain the range of Rum Nation,
Yes,
because
okay.
Rum Nation was founded in 1999 of an Italian guy called Fabio Rossi, and he has been doing whiskeys for many years, and he was in the wine industry when he was young, but his father started to be interested in whiskeys. So when he was a kid, in the late 60s, or in the 60s, and also in the beginning of the 70s, in the kitchen at home in Treviso, his dad had always a lot of whiskeys, so he was starting really early to taste and to smell and everything. And in, I think it was in the 80s, he was starting to travel to Scotland and buy whiskies for his father's range of different whiskies called Wilson and Morgan.
Okay.
And on his trip to Scotland, there was also in some of the cellars, there was he found some interesting barrels of rum. That was rum from Jamaica, that was rum from Guyana, and many of these barrels was old because they were bought in old days when there was still rum that was supplied to the English Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And he found it really interesting. So he bought some of these casks, Jamaica and Guyana, and they were bottled, and he sold them really well. So he found, okay, that could be really interesting to make a rum brand, an independent rum brand, because in the 80s, not in the 90s, rum was not popular, and independent bottlers was not popular at all.
Mm-hmm.
So he was thinking about that could be interesting. He said that it was most interesting for him to make single origins bottlings. So therefore, you will not find any blends of different origins together in Rum Nation.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, okay, the style of my brand should be that each country's character of the rum you can find in the bottles. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, it's important for him that the rum from Panama should taste like a Panama rum, rum
Mm-hmm.
from Guyana, rum from Jamaica, and etc. Peru.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one was, okay, the name. And say, okay, we have different rum from different countries.
From
So
different nations.
different nations. So therefore, the name Rum Nation.
Uh-huh.
And you
Okay.
can see on many of our bottles, the signature is it's not, it's a little bit difficult, but take a this one. This is maybe a little bit easier to see, but there's a stamp as a
Yeah.
label.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. And on each bottle, there's a stamp in our core range. And that was
Uh-huh.
also one of his ideas, because when he was a kid, he collected stamps.
Ah, okay.
So therefore, he got the idea when he was thinking about how the label should look and everything. So he was looking I don't know why, but he was looking in his old book with different stamps, and then he got the idea. Okay, I put a stamp from the country on the label.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good.
therefore, the you see, that's always with the stamp.
Nice idea.
It is. And in 2000 and I think it was 2004, the company I'm working for called Maguire get in touch with Fabio Rossi because he would like to sell us some whiskies, and then he also introduced the rum. And so therefore we have had a cooperation with Fabio Rossi for over 20 years. And our company where I'm from, we have 30th anniversary next year. So our company started back in 96 as a distributor and import company in Denmark, but that was whiskey. In 2002, we started to distribute one of the most popular rum brands ever. That's the Ron Zacapa. And the funny story in 2002 that when we should start trying introducing aged rum in Denmark, all the wine shops, all the managers of the wine shops said, aged rum has no future. Rum is only for Coke, with Coke.
Only for cooking.
Only with Coke and citrus. But then we did some tastings with whiskies where people there should taste it where they didn't knew. So on this evening with whiskies, we served them one glass, and they should guess which whiskey it was. And everybody said it was the best whiskey they've had the whole evening. They thought it was 21 years old Magellan, blah, 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 blah. And then it was aged rum from Guatemala. But in 2006, Diageo, the big distributor of different brands, they're the most important owner of distilleries, etc. They bought the Guatemala brand and took over all the distribution. So we were out. But then we were really lucky because Fabio Rossi, we had a good contact with him already. And that was the beginning of our cooperation with the rum from Rum Nation, and also his other brand called Millenario, if someone knows that. Yeah. And in 2017, Rossi asked us if we would like to buy the brand because he didn't have any kids, children, no one to take over the business. And his brother's children are not interested in taking over the business as well. So he said, you are dedicated people, you know a lot, you have a good knowledge about rum. So we make that agreement that we bought the brand of Rum Nation on a contract for 5 years. So he should help us for 5 years. So from the 1st of January 2018, we took care about, we were the owner of the brand, but everything was still going on in Italy.
Okay.
Because when we make the rum, we buy in rum from different origins, from different countries. And then we bring the rum to Europe in cask or in big plastic tanks. That's different. If we have something special, we buy it in cask barrels. But if we buy in many thousand liters of something, we buy it in these plastic tanks with 1,000 liters.
Sure.
Then we do that when we get the rum into Europe, we add the rum. Some of the rum we add in new barrels or used bourbon barrels. So we make the next aging of the rum in Europe.
Okay.
So, for example, if we buy a 7 years old rum from Peru, as we will taste next, we buy the rum is 7 years old, then we buy it, bring it to Europe, and add the rum in a sherry cask for 12 months.
Cool.
So that's our philosophy to work with the rum. And that was the idea with Mr. Rossi. And we could see when we were out of the contract in 2023, what should we do? Should we continue bottling, make the finishing in Italy? There's also some really fantastic bottling plants in Germany, in north part of Germany. We could do that. Otherwise, we could take it home to Denmark, and where we are placed, because we are our company are placed in the heart of Jutland, in the middle of Jutland, with a small village with about 3,000 people, so a lot of space. And we have
Really?
yeah, we have a lot of space. So that was also cheap buildings for us, and we had 800 square meters that was rented out to a blacksmith. So we decided to say, okay, let us say to him that we need the space, and then we decided to build up our own bottling plant, but also space so we could have our own cask. That's our headquarters. So that was the decision in that way, but also that we need to have all the knowledge from Fabio how we should do, because it's not just, as you also know, sometimes it's just not just mixing. It's really to taste. Again, the hard job. I think we should say cheers.
Yeah. So cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to all the followers.
Yes.
Let's have a look to the
Good sweet
chat.
vanilla. That's the Eiffel Boy. Salted caramel. Yes.
Wood spice, sure.
Yeah. Honey. That's definitely, because the rum we have in the glass, the Guatemala Gran Reserve. It's the rum is from the distillery that's also made the Ron Botran rum. This rum has been tropical aged for 4 years, and then 1 year on bourbon cask as well in Denmark. But we just write it 4 years. So, but it's tropical aged in bourbon cask, ex-bourbon cask for 4 years in Guatemala. We add a little bit sugar to the rum just to make it a little bit sweeter palate.
There was this is one of the questions of the community. So have a look. So how many grams of sugar were added post distillation to the rums in the Rum Nation tasting set?
Yeah.
So to this, do you know it?
That's different. Yeah, that's different from rum to rum, because when we received the rum from Guatemala, Panama, Peru, many times there's about, I think they have added a little bit. So we received rum from these countries about maybe 5 to 7 grams per liter.
How many? Sorry?
5 to 7 gram sugar per liter. Yeah. But we are allowed to add sugar up to 20 gram sugar.
Up to 20, right?
Yeah. But many of the rums are about 11 to 15 gram sugar. So we add a little bit.
So under the 20.
Yeah. So it's less than 20, because we know if it's more like 20 gram, we're not allowed to call it rum anymore. That's a spirit drink.
It's not Rum Nation, it's Spirit Nation.
That's the mestizo, as we also do. The range, you know, with the toffee, chocolate, and the citrus. The mestizo range is also a part of Rum Nation, but it's a spirit drink because we add flavors. We add also a lot of sugar to the rum. All Rum Nation is always less than 20 grams sugar per liter.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the question to Kevin. And Renee says, oh, yeah, that I want to know even too. So thanks to these both. And how large is the cask warehouse in Denmark?
The cask warehouse today, when we received the first, today we have about 285 cask of rum. Last year we had 350 because we bought a lot from rum from Mauritius, from a distillery called Grace. And this later on this year, we will make 2 new releases. There'll be a triple cask Mauritius, 6 years old, and there'll also be a 8 years old cask strength Mauritius. Really, really, really nice. Really nice.
Looking forward to this. I'm very
That's
interested.
really yeah. That's I think we have I really look forward to present these 2 new products on the market. It's not. It's with. I think the triple vintage, triple cask will be kind of a medium style with the sweetness. It will not to be sweet. It will be this kind of a medium. You can really taste the rum. And the cask strength will be about, as I remember it, 54.9% in the ABV, only bourbon cask. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's been I can't remember how many years. I think it was 5 or 6 years tropical aged in Mauritius and bourbon cask, and then it's been on. I just left in our warehouse for some years, and But another thing about the barrels we have, we took over a lot of old cask from Fabulosi with old Jamaica. A lot of it is from Worthy Park. We also some old Hamden. There's 25 years old today. We also have some old Haiti from Barbancourt. I think you will never find it. This old Barbancourt in independent bottlings. We have some few casks. We have some old Belize from Travelers, and only few casks as well. We have a little bit Savannah left as well. So there's some treasures so as we release in our top range called the rare rum. The rare rum range is where we do the single cask. Some of it we do some old stuff. Maybe we take 2 cask and bottle. But this is these kind of treasures. This is something that is rare. It's difficult to get. It's also expensive bottles. But if you like to buy something unique, if you want really we don't touch everything. It's just from the cask. We don't add any sugar. We don't add any water. It's just from the barrel. So again, the hard job, we need to taste the barrels and find out, is that ready now to be bottled? So that's I'll show you. This is a bottling from, we did some years ago at Worthy Park. We are not allowed to call, to use the distillery name anymore.
The Worthy Park has a very hard rule there.
Yeah, because I can understand why. Because when they sell a lot of bulk rum to independent bottles,
and aromatics,
like we do. But if we took exactly, and if we had the rum from Worthy Park, we added, for example, 20 grams per sugar per liter, changed the flavor in the rum, and we still call it Worthy Park.
Sure.
And that
is not enough for them.
Why distilleries don't want that. Yeah, there's some distilleries, they are all right that we mentioned the name, but even that we have these rare rums where we haven't touched the rum, it's no go. Yeah, but this is a limited editions. We release every year about 3 to 4 new rare rums. This year in September, we'll release 2 new rare rums. There'll be a Guadeloupe. That's a rum agricole. I know there's a question about the difference. I will come back to that later on. There'll be a Guadeloupe from a small distillery called Père Labat. That's placed on a small island called Marie Galante, but it's a part of Guadeloupe. That's been on both cognac cask and also sherry cask. Really, really elegant, nice. And then we will make the first, I think, we'll make a Venezuela 15 years old in the rare rums this year. And the rum is from Santa Teresa, but we are not allowed to put the name on the label called Santa Teresa. But this is 2 new rare rums that'll be available end of this year, together with the
2 rare rums.
Mauritius
rum. The new version you're talking about before, the Triple H rum, will this be a limited edition or is it an unlimited?
I think there'll be in our we call it core range. This range with these labels, that's the standard range. But of course, we will call it batch 1 because next time we'll make this triple cask. They will change a little bit, but of course we'll try the best we can do to make it so similar. But it will change a little bit, and I think the future will also that the rum will be a little bit better every time we will make a batch of this triple cask, because the rum will be older for every step we do.
Okay, cool. Looking forward for this.
And for me, and that's I can see that there's thank you to Eiffel Boy that about the transparency, because it's really important for me to inform about the transparency in rum and also in our range. We would like to so it's not nothing secret in what we do. It's not hidden anything. It's like what it is, but also about so much information I can give you about the different casks we use and play around with, and also that we add this kind of sugar.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you too from my point here.
Yeah, I like to and if you say it's too much, Emily, just say that if I speak too much about everything, but I would just like to make so much information as possible.
Benjamin has a question with the walnuts, so walnut. I think it's walnut in English, isn't it? And the Misonara cask. Do you plan something like this?
Yeah. Not yet, but I know that Fabio did a bottling on a Misonara cask for some years ago, and everything was sold to Japan.
So we find it in Japan?
No, yeah, I think you can find that rare rum in Japan.
So
because it was only released, it was a special bottling for Japan that was made on this Misonara.
Do you have an idea which label they use there?
No, but I will try to find it, and if I can find it, I will. I'll write you on mail.
Yeah,
of course.
And
the walnuts, but it's a good idea, and it could be interesting to try to add some rum in a walnutsfass, maybe for 6 or 12 months to make a finish. Because I know this, I have tasted some rum in the past where you have that kind of. I think it could be interesting. I think it could be really interesting to see that finish in the rum to use a walnutsfass.
Yeah. It's a very, very nutty smelling taste. So you smell this walnut, I think.
Yeah, I think that could be really interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Should we? Should we take the next one? Yeah.
Yeah, we should do.
I think we should go with the. Yeah, I think we should go with the one with the yellow label, the yellow and red label, called Piriano.
Piriano. Here we have
Yes.
it.
Yes.
While we are waiting for the rum, and will there ever be a Rum Nation Jamaica doc release? Do you have a doc release? I really don't know.
We don't have a doc release because I know that I think I can get some, and I know I can. I can get some, and especially the doc release is. I know that Hamden they do some great Jamaica doc, and could be, could be.
Maybe.
And I know that later on, I think next year, we'll release a new white Jamaica, and that's also
Okay.
with pot distill.
So a white but old rum.
No, just straight from the pot still.
Okay. Okay.
So we've received it,
Interesting.
and when we received it, the ABV was 84% in the ABV.
Okay.
84%, and then we reduce it because 84% is like drinking lava. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's
I
too
think
much.
so.
But it's beautiful. That's some really you have this, and now you can really look forward if you like to discover rum before it has been on cask. White rum is a great idea to try. It's something. Sometimes it's really hard to taste, but definitely if you taste Jamaica rum with not too many esters, you'll get a lot of fruit. You'll get a lot of banana. You'll get a lot of tropical fruit in this stuff. It's really interesting. So I can suggest if you like, and also have the uh, take the chance to get some taste something interesting. White rum is normally white rum is for cocktails because white rum gives a lot of taste to the cocktails. But
Uh-huh.
try in
But
the future. Buy a nice Jamaica white rum and taste it, sip it.
think so. And pot still made rum will have merry aromas.
Yes,
They have
a lot of
so it
aromas.
tastes very good. It's a very good choice of rum.
Lot of aromas when it's pot still distillated. So
Yeah.
when you have
Right.
rum from Jamaica, you have rum from Guyana as well. You have really lot of aromas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I say cheers. I think
Yes.
we
Yes.
should
That's it.
cheers
Yeah.
for the second. Can you say something about this rum?
Yes.
Do you need?
The
Do you
Puriano,
know the figure, for example?
is really special because was one of the first. Was one of the first rum there was in the standard range in Rum Nation. And I think Fab, you released this one back in 2003 or four. And in the old days, the bottlings was tall and a little bit other labels, but rum from Peru is not so often to find.
Mhm.
So, and we decided that, Fabio decided in the past that the ABV should be 42%. So you can also taste a little bit more spicy. You'll also
Mhm.
discover a lot of vanilla. It has been on bourbon cask for 7 years, tropical age in Peru, and then 12 months on sherry cask in Europe. So you also have this a little bit creaminess from the sherry cask in
Mhm.
this one. I think
I
just a
see.
little.
And it's a little bit fruity, I think. Fruity,
There's a
and
lot of fruit.
I smell this wood.
Yeah, you have definitely a lot of these flavors from the wood. You have this kind of fruit. Um, it's not. This rum is made on column still, so the spirits is more smooth. That's the Piriano that is in the glass.
Lovely.
It's the Eiffel Boy. There's Guyana in glass or Piriano. Yeah, that's the Piriano we have now.
Cool.
So I think this is the Piriano is special for the brand because it was one of the first releases. In this rum, there is about, I think, 14.6 or 7 gram sugar per liter. So we add a little bit sugar. I think we receive it about, again, 7 gram. So we add 7.5 gram sugar per liter.
Okay.
So when we receive the rum from the distilleries, the rum will always be about 60 to 65%. I know I said that the white one was really high, but aged rum we always receive about 60 to 65%.
Yeah.
And then we add it to barrels, leave it, or otherwise we will add water. So we decide the ABV. And the way when we will make a new product, it takes a long time to make a new product, because when we add water to the rum, the water and the rum has to be married. Otherwise, if you
Okay.
just add the water in the rum and you taste it the next day, you'll discover there's something weird going on, because you
Okay.
get some explosions of alcohol in the mouth. It's not nice, and that's because of the rum and the water is in different groups in the liquid.
Okay.
So therefore, it gives this kind of chemical process in the rum. So it has to be married about 2 to 3 weeks before we taste it.
Okay.
And then we decide, okay, this rum, we have an idea that between 40 to 46. Then we order the cask manager that's in the, it's not me, but we have a guy that's taking all the samples. And then we said to him, could you please make 6 samples in the beginning? One 46, one in 45, one in 44,
44 and so on. Yeah.
2, yeah. And then we taste them. And we have 6 different rums because of the ABV. When we decide, okay, we about 4 people there as always together to taste, so we can be then we say, okay, this is really good, but it could be interesting to taste the rum between 42 to 43%. So taste the rum with 42.8, 42.6, 2.4. We have different rum again. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but it
is. Yeah.
it is, yeah. Yes, and we have
Wow.
some good questions. Yeah, it's a beautiful. The Pirano is beautiful.
What says the community? Wollt ihr irgendwann ein Jamaica Haiti oder Jamaica Martinique Blend rausbringen? Maybe later Guyana im Glas of Pirano. Guyana is beautiful. Dark caramel, coffee notes.
I think that's a good question regarding if we will make a blend with is that right? Jamaican or Haiti or Jamaica and Martinique could be interesting. I think I think it's a little bit difficult to get rum from Haiti. So I think these few casks we have of Haiti rum will just be sold in the rare rums.
Haiti is very hot. There's war. There's war all the time, and it's very.
They do. Babencourt do a great job with the rum. Martinique, Jamaica, interesting, because then if you make a blend with Martinique rum and Jamaica rum, you will have the agricole rum based on the juice blend it
And
together with molasses rum. So that
Yeah.
could be, I've never tried it,
Right.
but it could be interesting. And we know also that if we would like to make a product from Martinique, we need to send all the bottles, empty bottles, to Martinique. Otherwise, we're not allowed to put the name Martinique on the product.
Yeah,
They-
okay, because of
Here again,
French rules.
we don't do anything with rum.
Yeah,
We allowed to make bottling with rum from Martinique, but then
yeah,
we are only allowed to call it French Antilles on the label.
okay. So no Martinique and Jamaica in near future.
Jamaica will be, because we have a lot of Jamaica rum on stock, and we do also the in our standard range. We have the Jamaica 5 years old. That's been on sherry cask, 4 years tropical aged on bourbon cask, and then
Very,
1
very
year,
good rum.
yeah, 1 year in sherry cask in Europe. And I will see that the next one we will make in of this one, the rum will be much more older, but we will just call it 5 years old. Because we have cask in Maguire with this rum that's been on barrels now that's 7 years old. So the rum will be beautiful next time, really beautiful.
Cool.
So it's 50% in the BV, so it's a little bit much more power in the taste of the make. It's not too heavy in what we call esters. These notes that can be tough for someone or somebody.
Yep.
But it's
Not for
beautiful.
Benjamin, but for the other one. Benjamin
exactly.
likes the easier one, so yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and to explain a little about the different products in Rum Nation that we call the standard range. There should be good rum for reasonable money. So people they can go out and find a bottle of money for a reasonable price, and that's our philosophy, that you can find a good rum so the 4 rums you have today in the small miniatures you can also find in 70 CLs, and they will always be in the standard range. Because there's a good choice, there's a good value for money. That's important for us. We think it's always to be discussed, of course, but we think that's important. And in our standard range, we will always have about 8 different rums from different origins, and we will always be single origin. We will not make a blend in the standard range.
Okay.
We have also rum from Dominicana in our range, and yeah, the next one will be the triple vintage. We have also Barbados in our range, standard range. Some years ago, we also do a decanter range, and we do the Panama.
Yeah, I
In
saw
these,
this.
the
Right.
Panama 18. And that's also a lovely product. And we do also a Panama 21. That's 43% in ABV. Have a little bit tobacco. There's a little bit of these dark bitter chocolate. It's really beautiful. If some of you like to smoke a cigar from the Dominicana Republic, that's beautiful together with this one, or just dark, or just dark chocolate. That's our decanter range. We do also another decanter. Some of you maybe have seen kind of an oval decanter called Guatemala XO, and that's our anniversary range. So there was that was introduced in 2019 because that time there was a 20th anniversary of Rum Nation, and now 5 years later we have introduced a Venezuela XO for the 25th anniversary. In the past, there was a Martinique, and there was also a Barbados some years ago. And the next step we have in the rare rum, in the top range of Rum Nation, that's the rare rums we do as the rare rums, where we do these about 3 to 4 bottlings every year. I only mentioned 2, but we do also a rare rum in another decanter with only 50 centiliters, and all these rums in these 50 centiliters will be 20 years old and more. We will have planned and make an 33 or 34 years old Port Morang later on this year. Yeah, I think there'll only be 175 bottles or something like that, because there's not much left in the barrel. But much of it has been just aged in Europe. It's not been aged very long in Guyana. But it's
Wow.
Yeah, and that was the good question as well. Is all the rum distilled on molasses? And yes, they are molasses based, all 4 rums we taste today. We have planned that because we need, I think, in the range to have a rum based on the juice. So it's an agricole rum, because it's important when we like to show the world of rum and the style of rum, that it's important to have this agricole rum. And we have agricole from Mauritius. So we will do a sugarcane, we'll do a sugarcane spirit, a sugarcane, no, sorry. We'll do an agricole rum from Mauritius next year, but we are not allowed to call it agricole because it's from Mauritius.
So it's a sugarcane juice rum.
Sugarcane juice rum, exactly.
What will be the name? How do you call it?
It'll be Mauritius again, and called sugarcane juice rum.
This is the only name, sugarcane, because you only have
we're not allowed to call it the agricole.
Yeah, sure, but
because
if you plan to make a second type, you have 2 different names, isn't it? So this is a misunderstanding by me, I think.
Yeah, but I think we will look at it and find a solution in that one, because we have molasses based from Mauritius, and we have also this juice rum from Mauritius. So they do both. But we are looking forward to make, of course, this Guadeloupe that we will release later on this year in the rare rum. That's an agricole.
Cool.
Because that's a juice. Yeah.
Cool. One question was, you are not at Berlin this year. There was a question, do you come to Berlin? Do you bring something new with to Berlin? But you are not at the German Rum Fest in Berlin, isn't it?
Not this year. No.
Damn.
But I will come in. I know that there'll be this show, as we talked about, the Whiskey Live show in Hamburg in October. One day will be open for in consumers, so people that can. I know that people that can buy a ticket for I can't remember. I think it's Saturday. That's open for the public. So that will be also a lot of rum brands, and there'll also be whiskey brands. But I'll be a part of the show and a whiskey live in October, and I'm hopefully I'm sure that I'll have some new stuff with me there.
Okay, so looking forward.
Yeah. Yes.
This is
I don't know the price on the ticket.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We have a look. I got
Yeah.
I got an invitement. Is it a Einladung? I had an Einladung, but I'm not there. But if somebody is interested, so I can put the name of the what is the exact name? Do you know it now? So I have to search for.
Yeah, I can't remember the boot, but the show is called Whiskey Live Hamburg.
Yeah, Whiskey Live Hamburg. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there it is.
The Whiskey Live Hamburg is the show, and I think it's the 11th and 12th of October.
Yeah, I have to look for my calendar, but it could be, yes.
Yeah, it's a good. I am also in Paris. There's a Whiskey Live Paris, which is one of the biggest spirit shows in Europe. And that's also a fantastic place with a lot of different rum brands as well. So it's also a good show, and that's also open for the public and end consumers that they can come and visit the show. So if you have time to fly to Paris and have a good time in Paris and a couple of days there and visit Whiskey Live, it's also really good fun.
Cool. So I didn't hear this Whiskey Live Paris, so I was concentrated to all the German shows, but I have no idea of the Paris one at all. So okay, sounds interesting.
Paris is there's also one huge. If you like really to dig in with the rum, there's in the spring, in April or in May. There's like you have the Berlin Rum Fests. There's also the Paris Rum Fests. That's also the biggest rum shows in Europe. That's also a nice one.
Okay, maybe
a lot of agriculture rum.
Cool. Yeah,
French
sure,
rum.
because of
they love
because of French.
St. James and the Saint-Etienne and yeah, but it's a good show as well. It's really good. Yeah.
Cool.
That's some good questions.
Yeah, and thanks for all your answers. This is really, really interesting. So, what do the community says? The Peruano is very soft and smooth. Eiffel Boy remembers us that we have to taste our tasting set here, and he's right. So what does the which is it the Peruano? So you have at this set you have you explain all the rums. It's very interesting. And it's in English, I see. Okay, so it's very good.
I think it's in it is in English.
Yes.
On the text. Yeah.
Solera like aging in various kinds of barrels.
Yeah.
And a timeless blending receipt. A rum that is sweet. Scroopy is Syrupi. What is Syrupi? Can you explain Syrupi? Do you know it? I don't know Syrupi.
Just a moment. Is it in the Peruano or?
Yes, at the Peruano, and I'm looking for. I have a talent to concentrate me on these small questions in life. So Syrupi. Now I want to know it. Syrupi. Oh, is it syrup? The German word will be syrup, so sweetness and.
I forgot my glasses, so it's.
So it's almost the same.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Sometimes you have this when we talk about also about molasses, you can also Guatemala, for example.
Mhm.
They make that kind they call sugarcane honey.
Yes. This is 1 or
So
2
they take
times cooked sugar, is it?
exactly, yeah, and that's the way they make the base for the distillation. Yeah, that's the way they did the zacapa in the old days. I think still they do. Yes, should we take the Panama? Should we try that one?
Yes, we tried. The blue one, is it? The
The blue one.
Panama.
Yes. And Panama is the rum origin that's really popular because of the style. It's really delicious. It's smooth and it's really good to make some nice different rums, and it's a good intro level for people to start drinking rum.
Okay.
The Panama tin, yeah, and as you know, and also for your own products, it's Panama is
It is.
perfect. And our Panama tin, I think we released that first time in 2015 or 16.
Okay.
And that's our best selling product in each country.
Cool.
It's the best selling product in Germany. It's really popular in Germany. It's the best selling product in France. It's the best product selling in Italy. It's really popular.
I think.
And I think
So I have the idea Panama and Barbados are the most bought rum nations in Germany. I have the idea of it, and the next is Jamaica, for example.
yeah, but definitely you're definitely right that the Panama style is really popular. And also the one I don't have the bottle today, but the Guatemala XO in the nice decanter is also really popular in Germany.
It is. I think it's most interesting, the Panama one, than Barbados rum, for example. Barbados is too smooth. The Panama has is more spicy, more interesting, had more different aromas, more facets. Is it
I agree.
the same word in English?
I agree because yes, and one thing is that the Barbados we have in our range is too. It's a nice rum, but people when they would like to drink Barbados rum, they need a little bit more power. They need a little bit more spiciness. They need a little bit more wood in the taste. And our even that our rum in our Barbados, the rum is from Foursquare Distillery.
Okay. So very famous.
But the problem is that the problem is that the rum we have bought in the past is only column distilled. It's not pot distilled. It's only pot. I think it's only column distilled. So really smooth. And I think for me is that we have in the past last time we did a bottling of the Barbados was in 2022, I think. And also I think the 40% it's make it too weak. So next time we'll make a Barbados. It will show much more Barbados.
Okay.
But we need to take it out. We'll need to take it out of our standard range because it'll be too expensive in the standard range. So therefore we decided to take the Barbados out when we are sold out of what we have now, and then find the Barbados later on in the next level, because we can't continue in the price level with the Barbados we have now. I don't want to make a bad product just to keep the price.
Sure.
It's much better to replace the product with another origin.
Yeah. Okay.
In my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. And but again, that's good. And to be honest, in that Panama rum, we have added sugar in the
Uh-huh.
rum. We are close to 19 gram sugar
Okay.
per liter. We are 18 and a
The
half.
maximum.
18
The
and a half.
maximum.
Yes, we're close to the
Mhm.
maximum. Close to the maximum. But that's you have this kind of cacao, have the
Mhm.
fruit,
It is.
you have was it the spicy as we talked about. I think you have a really good rum for again value for money on
Mhm.
this one. And I know our distributor in Germany, Kirsch, they have done a really good job to put the Panama tin in different stores. In Germany. So we can see that the product is really growing in Germany, and we are happy about that because I think still that you get it's it's a rum that
It is.
I always like to drink because it's not complicated. It's easy to drink.
Mhm.
It's good also if I have friends that's not educated in rum, they can have a glass of this Panama and say, "This is delicious. It tastes
And
good."
it's much more fruity and much more floral. Um, I remember to Panama rum normally. It's
Yeah,
very interesting.
yeah. This the rum we buy the rum from one of the big distilleries in Panama,
Okay.
and these guys are also doing if you know the brand Abuelo.
No.
Parala. Oh, that's a big distillery. They do a big brand called Abuelo, and that's our supplier.
I know Abuelo. Yes, now I understand it right. Yeah. I
Well,
know this.
yes,
Yeah.
that's is our supplier of the rum to this one.
Oh.
We're playing with the cask again and again. When we receive the rum, we receive the rum at 60% in the ABV, 60 degrees. We receive the rum where we have a sugar about 7-8% in ABV, and then we add the 10 gram
Mhm.
sugar to the rum because we think the profile, if we look, we like to have the Panama 10 should also be that rum that will be the entry level in Rum Nation
Okay.
because it's important that if we can find these beginner in the rum industry and say, oh, this is delicious, this is good,
Mhm.
that's a good way for them, and then they can dig in the rest of the
Mhm.
range. Because if we started serving them at Jamaica 5 years old
Mhm.
on 50% ABV sherry casks, they will never drink rum
Yeah,
again.
I think so.
So so therefore, the
Yeah.
Panama is a good place to
Yeah.
start. You can easily find when we received the rum and tasted, we agreed that if we just added water down to 40% without add any
Mhm.
sugar, we think there'll be too much kind of acidity,
Okay.
acid in the taste from the wood.
Mhm.
It will have this really hard spiciness in the
Okay.
rum, and that was not delicious. So therefore, we agreed to add sugar.
Okay.
Another thing that is also that when we use sugar, there's different kind of sugars to use in the industry.
Mhm.
So at the moment, we are using some liquid sugar. It's not sorry, but it's liquid
You
sugar
will have a
we
problem
buy.
with crystal sugar because it don't will
Yes,
auflösen in the alcohol.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So therefore, we another thing. There's also some strict regulations in Denmark
Mhm.
about using these sugar
Mhm.
crystals, because then we have to have their huge machines and you have to be covered with everything so you don't breathe in dust and everything.
Okay.
So it's much easier to work with these liquid sugar. And I know there's a lot of different fun, and that's been funny to have the same rum and use different kind of sugars, because
there is
these
the
different sugars.
Demerara sugar, for example, is a very special, very spicy taste, and this different you will smell. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So therefore, it's really, really, really different.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there? I think there
So
is a rum with Demerara. Yeah, it's one of
it's the
the
last
four.
one.
So
The last one.
we will smell and we will see
Yeah.
what we are talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very delicious.
So
I find it is fruitier and much more floral than I expected. But it's a nice sweet rum with wood. I smell this wood. I smell this vanilla. It is tasty. It's a good entry.
yes, it's exactly. And you have this kind of it's when you have these rum that's been on these bourbon bourbon cask, bourbon barrels, bourbon cask. You always have kind of a little bit of this vanilla in the taste. So because of the wood and also the bourbon have these vanilla notes.
Yeah.
So when you use ex-bourbon cask, you'll always have a little bit of this kind of vanilla.
The American oak was produced to smells like sugar, so caramel and vanilla.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's really, in the past, the bourbon cask was really cheap for the rum industry and also for the whiskey industry.
And
so because sherry cask was
not at the
really
moment,
expensive.
or
The price are increasing. The price are increasing on cask, and also because the bourbon industry has grown so fast. So the request for demand for these American oak has been so huge. So now the bourbon industry has been talking about that there has always been a regulation that bourbon cask was only being used one time for bourbon.
in
And
cask.
then they sold the cask. Yeah, but now they're talking about that maybe they should use the cask twice.
Right.
Yeah. So
maybe you have
because also
have only the half casks in the world because they use it twice. Is it?
Yeah.
Is
So
right?
it's huge.
Yeah.
And you can see.
Okay, you will see it. Yeah.
Yeah. For example, when we if we buy an virgin oak, and virgin oak is a completely new barrel. There's nothing been inside before. It's a new barrel. When we buy a barrel for example, 250 liters or 200 liters, we pay about for virgin oak. That's really expensive.
Is it?
But
Okay.
but we 2,000 euros is really expensive for virgin oak. But you can find that. But we pay about 800 to 1,000 euros for virgin oak. Yeah, but if you talk about an old sherry bottle, 500 liters, an old sherry from a good bodega, the price is crazy. You pay about up to 2,500 or 3,000 euro for an empty cask.
In Germany, I say hammer. It's really. These are prices. This is. I have no English words for this.
No, and but it's funny, and it's so important about we know that the cask industry and also the cask how important the cask are for rum, and
for all the industry
and size of the cask. Yeah, for the industry, it's so important. So So yeah, we know also if we have some rum, we would like to say, okay, this rum is perfect now. This rum is perfect after, I say, 12 years. But but we would like to maybe slow down the maturation. Then we can take the rum and put it in an old cask and just leave it for the maybe 3 years. Then the impact from that old barrel will not be so much,
Yeah.
but you will give a very much elegant
Mm-hmm.
in the taste.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we just maybe kept it on these cask for another 3 years, maybe the rum will be too much woody in the taste because the impact from that barrel or cask will be too much. So therefore, take some old used cask, add the rum to these old casks. You can make some really nice, elegant smoothness in the
Okay.
rum,
To reduce the
and that's
peak
also
of
something.
this.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
so that's also the something we are playing around. Also, old cognac cask. You know the brand. Um, it's not the Plantaray,
Plantaray. Yeah.
old plantation.
The new
Yeah,
Plantaray.
Plantaray
Yeah.
is old. It's an old cognac cask.
Uh-huh.
They use a lot for finishing in the rum to get the smoothness in this one. Yeah, I can remember that there was a really nice question about. I think there was new origins. If we were talking about
New
new
orange.
origins from Rum Nation, I think the list we were talking about.
Please say it again. I don't know what you mean.
I think one of the questions you sent to me about if there was plan about some new countries or rum from new origins in the future in Rum Nation, or maybe I have forgot. But I can easily tell you about that.
Is there?
We are
Yeah.
planning a lot.
I have it. Are there any upcoming projects or Norwegians Rum Nation is planning to explore? That question you're talking about, I think.
Yes,
Now I have it.
exactly. And we would like to explore much more, and also to because we have made a plan for the next 3 to 5 years. We would like to release.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you have to plan because
But
you have to put it in the cars and wait.
exactly, exactly. But it's also a huge investment to when we have such huge range. But I can inform you that and tell you about that we would like to look in some really new origins.
Okay.
We are looking from rum from Africa.
Ah,
There's many new interesting distilleries in
there
Africa.
is. Yeah.
There's Ghana. Ghana is really interesting. I think that could be lovely to make a Ghana rum, add the rum on virgin oak, leave it for 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, release it. I think we'll have some beautiful, beautiful. Could also be interesting to find some rum from Cameroon. There's also Liberia. There's some there's lots of going on in Africa at the moment.
Cool.
There's a new distillery in England called Drop Works, and they're really interesting. They have been working with rum for the last 2 years, but they invested in a copper pot still, like
Yeah.
a pot still.
Mm-hmm.
They invested in a column still as well,
Okay.
and then they invested in this special still they use on Jamaica called I can't remember the word now, but
It
they
is.
sent me
It
samples,
is a
and
special wood
when I
pot
taste
still.
no, it's not a wood. It's I can't remember the word now.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can write it to you afterwards. But I tasted the rum, and that quality of the rum from these guys was on a level like Jamaica rum.
Wow.
So these guys, I think that could be really interesting if we could buy some rum, and I'm in touch with these guys to buy some rum in the future, make a Rum Nation UK. I know it's not so exotic,
It's not.
but
It sounds not exotic, but if you think about it, UK is not the main region for getting rum.
Exactly. They have this long rum story about the blending rum to the Navy,
Yeah.
the London
Yeah.
dock, where they have all the stock for the rum.
Yeah.
So they have the history, but I'm impressed what I have tasted.
Wow.
Really impressed.
Cool.
Yeah.
So UK, you're looking for Africa, and what was the you said two small countries that are Africa.
That was Cameroon.
Cameroon.
That was in Africa, and that
Ah,
was,
yes,
yeah,
it's an
Cameroon
African
and
country. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, and Liberia as well. But there's much more. I discovered I think in Africa now, in these different countries, I think there's about 45 or 50 rum distilleries today.
Okay. I didn't expect that because I only know the Mohoba rum from South Africa.
Yeah, from South Africa.
And there's
that's
the
really
Ghana
heavy.
one. I think Kirsch Import made it too.
Yep.
But these are the only rums which I know from Africa.
Yeah, but I think the distilleries in Cameroon will be an Agricole because it's an old French colony, so it'll be an Agricole making the juice. And I think also maybe Liberia will be in juice. I can't remember, but I think it could be interesting. I have also tasted rum from Vietnam. I have tasted rum from some funny places where you never think about rum, but they doing rum.
Cool.
And I would also like to if in the future it could be good fun if we could import some rum from United States, because they have this they have some good rums in United States
made in Texas,
as well.
Or where do they produce?
I think it's in Texas, and also the south part of United States, because they have in the past they have a long rum history in that area, especially in the before the bourbon really started. There was a lot of rum distilleries in that part, and now they are starting a little bit up again. So it's so it could be interesting. Again, so we are looking and see where we can find these new regions, because it's important to develop the brand. And when we are independent bottler, it's really important to introduce some new products, but find a new product maybe every year or every second year, because in a long period there was not any news from Rum Nation. But now we have made that plan that we would like to make some interesting new stuff. But we need also to sometimes to look at the range and see, okay, we need to replace a product if it's not really popular. Take it out.
Wish you good luck for this.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward for this.
Yes, so there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good rum in the world.
Really. What does the community says? What does the community says? So greetings from Roblox Q1. Greetings from the blanks aus Bremen. I know Demen is not right. They live in Bremen, so greetings. Does Rum Nation have a rum that been aged in a port wine cask? You're talking about sherry casks and something else, but not
Yeah.
port wine, is it?
We have planned to make a finish later on. We'll try to buy in some port cask later on this year, and we will add some of our rum in some of these tonic casks. Our company working with a port wines company in Portugal, so we can buy these casks from them.
Cool.
So therefore, we have on our schedule that we would like to add some of the rums to some of the port cask and make a finish between 12 and maybe 1.5 year difference of the port and everything. So it's again it's the only thing we taste. See how it works, but I think
so
12 months will
1.5
be good
2 years.
on a yes for a finish.
Okay.
So we will take some rum that's 8 years old or 10 years old, and then add it on these port cask.
Cool. Hallo zusammen. Okay, hello, NP. 12 years old Mauritius rum. So the Mauritius rum. We checked up the Mauritius rum. So 12 years old is not at the moment.
Not at the moment, but I think we have rum in our cask warehouse from 2017.
Okay.
And they're really good quality. And I'm sure that we will leave some of these casks so we can release a limited edition of 12 years old Mauritius in 2029.
2029. Okay.
It's not so far away.
Yeah. So Benjamin is looking forward to 2029. Okay,
yeah,
but
I think we're gonna make a limited edition because we bought a lot of Mauritius rum because we've got a good offer and in different styles, and we also bought some rum where we also played with the different cask. So took some of the Mauritius rum, added to virgin oak. We took also some Mauritius rum and added to sherry cask. We took also some Mauritius rum and added to. We bought some cask from a Danish whiskey distillery called Stauning that do some rye cask. So it's masala finish. That's right. That could
masala
also
finish, especially in the peat range.
And one thing special with the masala is Fabio Rossi. He was one of the first independent bottlers that started to use masala cask for Finnish whiskey.
Okay.
So that's make really sense. That's if we could find a masala cask in the future, or a couple of casks to add some rum, and then we can again combine the story together to our founding father.
Back to the roots, back to the beginning.
That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. So it's there's a lot of things to think about after this tasting. There's some good idea from
I thought about it. So maybe you come later with a ball pen and all the ideas. Perfect. Okay, now I put in the last one, and this is the Guyana one. Demerara, Demerara one. We talked about Demerara sugar, and this is the Demerara one. I'm really looking forward to this. This is in Solera number 14. I have the Solera number 14. How much do you have? Is it the 14?
It's another 14 years old. It's and the
number
word,
14.
The Solera name is not allowed to write on a label anymore. because the Solera system is, is not.
Yep.
It's an aging system that's really well known in the Caribbean countries. But
yes, and in where you made the sherry one, no? I think it comes from the sherry industry.
It comes from the sherry, that's right. But the problem is that the Solera, using of the Solera, I would say that it's been raped because of some of the producers, because in the books it's allowed to mention the oldest rum, but you don't have any chance to know how much rum there is in this system.
Right.
So therefore, the Solera system can also be called the last drop.
Yes.
And Guyana has never made that Solera system, but Fabio Rossi, he had bought the rum from Guyana. That was been added on bourbon cask, and then he added the Oloroso sherry cask and Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. So therefore, he thought he would call it a Solera system. So that's the reason why he mentioned Solera number 14, because the Solera system he mentioned like it was Solera number 14, but the rum inside is about 5 years old. It's not old, 6 I think. But the impact from, you have Guyana rum that's really heavy,
very spicy,
really spicy, and then you have this completely impact from the sherry cask, fresh Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez sherry cask, that make that really heavy. Raisins, have a little bit sweet licorice, have the tobacco, you have dark chocolate, you have this. That's from really the impact from both the best from Guyana and these fresh sherry casks we use. We add again a little bit sugar to this one. I think we
how much? You know?
We are 17 gram.
Okay, but 17 gram is okay. So and that's where the taste comes from. So where the tastiness of all this comes from.
I think it's a beautiful rum.
Beautiful smell. The smell is beautiful.
It's really nice also together with the cigar, but it's also if you have this really heavy chocolate desserts, that's beautiful to get this.
This is fudgy wood. Can you say fudgy wood? Makes a sense. It's a very old wood, and a very old plum, for example. And you're smelling the Demerara sugar, I think.
Yes, that's really, and exactly what the Eiffel boss says now, that since there's only one distillery left in Guyana, Demerara Distillers, DDL. Yeah, that's right. That's the rum from. So, and the funny thing is that we have also some really old Guyana in our stock, old cask of Enmore. We have some old Port Morang left, and some years ago, a couple of years ago, they decided in DDL that they would not sell any more Guyana rum to independent bottlers.
Okay.
The first thing was that they couldn't get manpower to the distillery, because they found some oil outside the country. So all the people that would like to work in the oil business, they could much better paid. And another thing that was really important for them, that it was difficult for them to get molasses. So even that the biggest purchaser of rum in Europe, in Holland, they couldn't buy any Guyana rum.
Okay.
So they do the El Dorado range. That's beautiful, but we will not see any more except what there are in different cellars around Europe of Port-Morang, Enmore, Versailles, that they will not release any more barrels from what they have in their own stock of DDL, if there is something. But the thing is that in DDL, you have these 4 really iconic stills. There's most iconic stills in the world that are placed in DDL. And the reason why we call this rum Demerara is that you have the river on Guyana called the Demerara River. In the past, the distilleries was placed really along the river, and you have all the sugar canes that time. I think today they import a lot of molasses to the distillery. And another thing is that many of the most important rum influencers in the world, and also some buyers, really buyers of rum, it's really difficult to visit, to get into the distillery. They don't want visitors.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's difficult. So therefore, we can see that I think Guyana rum and old Guyana rum will increase. There'll be the next Caroni. Caroni is at the moment is way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a very interesting taste.
Yeah.
I think it's salmiak. I think. Do you know?
Yes, salmiak. Yeah.
But very present. It's very presentful. So it is like a salmiak sweet.
Yes. You have this typical Danish salmiak licorice with the sweetness.
Yeah. It is. Wow.
And that's right. With the wooden pot still, Port-Morang, and that's the oldest pot still in the world, and it still was still making rum. Been making rum for over 250 years. It's incredible. Wooden pot still. It's crazy. But it's interesting. As a Guyana rum is interesting, and also they do in the past they did some really long fermentation. Like also in Jamaica, they do a long fermentation on everything. It's tasteful, and if you have these, we did some rare rums. If you can find some of the old rare rums from Guyana, I think we released some for 5-6 years ago. If you can find them on the shelves in Germany or around Europe, buy them.
Okay.
Because they are still reasonable in price, because they were reasonable in price that time. They are fantastic, really fantastic. Especially these there was in the white tube, as I showed you with the Rift Park. We did some now they're old, so we have also done some in these square bottles. That's been in the can that's been in a book, but they're quite expensive because they're really rare. But in the past we did some for really reasonable price.
Huh.
But this is nice, really nice. That's a really nice chewing.
It's a good one, and I think Alphabet likes it too. I love Demerara, my favorite, he says.
Yeah.
I had a question in my head, so but I don't. I have no idea how can I ask it. So the idea is you have very old cars in your warehouse. Are you feared sometimes about the idea? Okay, I want to make this or this with the rum. Do you have the fear that is the wrong idea, and then you don't have the main stuff? So do you know what I mean? So are you scared about wrong decisions, and then these old rum never comes again?
The thing is that with the old rum, is that we need to keep an eye on these barrels. We have made an cask management plan
Okay.
for all our cask. We make every time we have tasted, we make the note. Okay, this one we think can be in the cask for the next 2 years.
Mhm.
If we are unsure about it, we taste it again, maximum 6 months after. We
Mhm.
decide that now is perfect. We can do that, but we can take it off the cask and just add it in a big plastic tanker, for example,
Okay.
for
Sure.
200 liters.
Sure.
And then we just keep it there. The taste will not change at all.
It will
Keep
not
it
change. Yeah. Right.
closed.
Right.
It's closed for everything. It's then the taste will be there.
Mhm.
Because these old rums, when we release them, we will not add anything. We will not add sugar. We will not add water. We'll just bottle them as it is.
Mhm.
So of course we are also can we can be afraid to do some mistakes with some rum, but if we do mistakes, we'll always be in the cheaper end. But I think we can save these kind of rum where we can go from the rum to make a spirit drink.
Okay.
If
Yeah. Okay.
it makes sense,
So
because then
you have more
you can
options for this.
exactly because then if we say this is not the profile we really want,
Yeah.
we can make the rum to a spirit drink instead, and we can add some flavors, we can add some more
Mhm.
sugar and make a spirit drink. And yeah, so I think we'll never waste anything. Of course, maybe we need to reduce the profit because that's that's it. But
Mhm.
the old stuff, the worst thing that can happen for us is that there'll be a cask that will start to leak. If one of the casks will start leaking, that'll be a problem.
Yeah. Then it's you come back 1 day later and it's empty.
Yeah, that'll be
Not good.
really, really, really. That will not be really funny.
Yeah.
But we keep an eye on the stuff
And there are
all the time.
techniques that this won't happen. For example, what is the English word for this? Luftfeuchtigkeit to
Yeah,
control
yes,
the
yes,
water in the air and so
yeah.
on. For example.
It's not because we are in the middle of the country, and we
Uh-huh.
have decided just to in our warehouse, we just
Uh-huh.
we just keep it like okay when it's hot, okay it's also a little hot inside, not much but it is. In the
Yeah.
cold days, it's cold, so we
Yeah.
can it's really naturally how the rum will develop
Okay.
because you could easily make a controlled warehouse with Luftfeuchtigkeit,
Yeah.
etc., and also with the heat. You can do that, but we have decided instead of doing that, let us try to see like in Scotland, in many of these warehouses, just leave it. And also in if you see in some of the Central Americas warehouses, just leave the products in warehouses and see. The problem in Central America, for example, in Panama or in Dominicana, is that the angel share is so crazy, and also
Sure.
the Luftfeuchtigkeit and also the heat is so crazy.
Around it.
So
Yeah.
there was a guy that told me once that if you start with 100 cask of 200 liters,
Uh-huh.
after 12 years, you have 15 cask left.
15 only.
15. The
I,
rest of
I
the engine.
expected I expected more than the half, so less than the half, but
Yeah,
not only 15. This is
15. If you just leave it. So therefore,
wow.
they do a
Yeah.
system. They do a system that
Yeah.
they make batches, and then they
Mm.
leave the cask, and then they add these casks together. So you
Mm.
more liquid you have inside the cask, it will reduce the more air there will be in the cask. It's the
Yeah, yeah, sure.
development more crazy. so that they stick the stuff together all the time. And that's different also when you do the pallet agent system, because they have the barrels is not, they are stacked on the, and they on maybe 5 to 6 pallet height. So it's really really funny to see. But it's and that's different in the temperature from the floor to the roof. And that makes also different in the taste of the rum.
Wow. It was very interesting. Eiffel Boy says, first of all, a big thanks to Sven and Klaus. So he's ready. He's ready with the rum.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And if some of you need some questions or have some questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to me in my email, and that's Klaus with C and at and Macy MACY.DK. You have my mail, Sven.
I have your email. If somebody is interested, may you writing an email to me, and I can give you.
There's some that have some questions.
Yeah.
You're always more than welcome to contact me, and I'll try to do my best to answer if there are some questions or something like that. We are also looking into to make a kind of community for Rum Nation. So there's something we have a graphic designer now, so we are much more on Instagram. She's also a photographer, so she's really good to make some nice photos. So we are much more on these social media to make the brand again developing them more. And so for me,
looking forward for stories and reels.
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of things. We do also some competition, people that can win a bottle, etc. We would also like to make some nice merchandise in the future, that giveaways of Rum Nation, and people maybe that can, some maybe a little bit more expensive to people that can buy if they want. But this is something in our plan, so we can create more. And we also have a fan club on Facebook called Rum Nation Fan Club. That's
cool.
That's not much. Yeah, there's not much that's going on, but hopefully more and more people that'll be there, that can be posted more and more, and that's more like, what are you drinking today, or like posted, I drink Pirano, I love this. Yeah.
And it has to grow. It has to grow. So it must grow.
And for me, that Germany, and for me, Germany is really a good market. It's also an important market. We are neighbors, and I enjoy every minute I'm going to Germany, and I think I love it very much, because we many times we are similar to each other, and that's good. I'm really appreciated that. So hopefully that we can. I'm happy to in the future to do another tasting with you, Sven. It's been a pleasure. A big pleasure for me to talk about Rum Nation. Some really good questions as well.
It was a pleasure for me, really. Really a big thank you to you and your time.
And also that when we have some new releases, I can easily send a mail to you, Sven, that now there's some new releases, and then you can share them with your community if you want.
I will.
We can discuss that. Because when I can inform you when Kirst they have ordered them, then I can say, okay, now they are on the way to Germany.
Yeah. For example,
they're really good to. They order every second month from us, so that's really good. So and also that we have been talking about that I should make some a tour to Germany to make some tastings in the future in the north part of Germany. It could be really good fun. Have a good time together with our friends in Germany and fans, and convince some other rum drinkers that having a nice Rum Nation in the glass.
Yes, really.
Otherwise, so, we can make a port nation.
Port Nero Rum Nation edition.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. let's talk about. Okay. Thank you for your time. Yeah,
Thank you
and
very much.
for all these informations. And we hold the contact because maybe somebody has a question, and then
Definitely. You're more than welcome to. Yes. It's been a big pleasure for me. Thank you very much, Sven, doing this show tonight. It was great, really great, and also to meet you on the chat was
Great.
really good. Thank you very much for all the good questions.
I
Have a
thank
nice,
you.
thank you. Have a nice evening and enjoy a glass of rum in the thunderstorm.
Have a nice evening. So hold the line, please. Don't go away,
Yes.
but hold the line. We, dear Community, liebe Community, danke, dass ihr dabei wart. Schön, dass ihr so lange auch dabei wart. Es hat wirklich Spaß gemacht mit euch. Und ich wünsche euch noch einen schönen Abend. Und wir sehen uns hoffentlich dann bald wieder. Also, ihr Lieben, gehabt euch wohl. Und at my channel we say, nüchtern bleiben, Prost. So,
Prost.
nüchtern bleiben, Prost.
Meinen Prost.
Nüchtern bleiben. So stay, what is the English word für nüchtern? Not drunk. So stay not drunk. Cheers. So where can I go offline now here? End stream.